Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back. Just Simply Sports here with me. I am Kaja. You guys, I think it's official. I think at this point, after everything that happened tonight with the Miami Heat versus Indiana Pacers, I think that it's safe to say that Jimmy Butler will be out of Miami within the next few days or at least the next week or so. I think I definitely feel a trade coming on. You guys, he's been back for 2 games after missing, I believe, about 5 games due to injury. He's missed games previously earlier in the season, going back to last season. But something just has not felt right within this organization, you guys. And looking at Jimmy now and the way they're using him, it's not how it's been in the past. I'm going to play this clip for you guys, and then you'll see what I'm saying.
When you say what your job is now, we're sort of not used to see you standing in the corner for extended periods like that. Is that a change in the team approach that has cast you that way? And for you to be your best version of yourself, can that be your role and you thrive to the best of your ability?
It can be my role here, um, but I mean that's not what I'm used to being. I haven't been that since I don't know my first, second, third year in the league, where I just went out there and played defense. But I competed, I guarded, I tried not to let my man score. But that's what I'm doing now.
So I saw a lot of comments online really coming for Jimmy's head, you guys, and not too much on my guy because I'm a Jimmy Butler fan. But a lot of you were saying Jimmy Butler is not really trying. You don't really feel like he's putting forth his best effort. His usage is different. He's not used to standing in the corner and not being more involved within the offense. That's not how his role has been in the Miami Heat for what I don't know since he's been there realistically, if you think about it, if you really watch Miami Heat games. Now, I will play devil's advocate because I have to be fair and look at it from both sides. Jimmy has been hurt more, than obviously they would like. I'm sure even he would like as of late. So they have to game plan and still find other ways of doing things that work so that they can win games. And when you have Tyler Hero, who's been, blown out of control, Bam, who's been doing Bam things, when you implement Jimmy back in after he's been gone for a while. You want to have some sort of consistency, I would think, just as a fan. I'm not a coach, obviously, but just as a fan of watching the game and just about my logic, you would want some kind of consistency, some kind of structure. So because it seems that Jimmy has been hurt more lately, they've kind of moved away from, I guess, being so maybe dependent on him. I'm not even sure that's the right word. And they've moved on to who their core is or who their core has been since he hasn't been around as much. And now that he's back, they're not just throwing him back in, how things were before. So I'm sure it feels different. But even aside from that, body language, you guys, I don't know how you guys are when you watch people in interviews, but for me, I look at what someone is saying, but what I mostly look at is what they're not saying. And looking at Jimmy and his body language, his demeanor, this is not the Jimmy Butler that I'm used to seeing, you guys. One of the things that made me a fan of Jimmy before I even really started watching him play basketball was his personality. He has a very outgoing, fun, carefree, confident personality. You see him with the purple hair, the green hair, the orange hair, emo Jimmy, the dreads. Like, he just comes across like someone who likes to have fun and lives life on his own terms, doesn't take himself too seriously. You see him in the commercials, I want to be a bad boy, it's like he seems to be very fun. And he looks anything but right now.
Jimmy, when do you feel like your role in the offense changed, and what has been the toughest adjustment to that change?
It's not a tough adjustment to me. I'm going out there to compete to win either way. Whether I score 9 points or 29 points, I will compete. That's one thing that I will say. So you won't say that I'm out there uh, not playing hard. It may look like that because my usage is down and I don't shoot the ball a lot, but we won't sit here and say that I don't play hard.
What will fix it? What do you want to see happen to fix it?
What do I want to see happen? Um, I want to see me get my joy back from playing basketball, and wherever that may be, we'll find out here pretty soon. But I want to joy back. I'm happy here. you know, off the court. But I want to be back to somewhat dominant. I want to hoop, and I want to help this team win. Right now, I'm not doing that.
Can you get your joy back here on the court?
Probably not.
Listening to him speak about finding his joy again, I feel like that's so underrated and it may go over a lot of people's heads, but it didn't go over mine. I think the expectation for NBA players in general, because they make so much money, is that look, you get paid 30 million a year, 20 million, how many millions it is to play basketball. Shut up and dribble, right? Don't complain, just do your job. I don't know how many of you have ever been in situations, relationships, jobs, where you just kind of felt like your joy was gone. Like you didn't really feel like yourself. You felt like a shell of yourself. Like you just really, you were there physically, but you weren't there at the same time. Like you just knew that at this point it was time for you to leave, said relationship, job, whatever it may be. And I think that's where Jimmy is right now. I don't know what's going on, but when he said I want to find my joy again. I don't feel like, and the reporter asked, do you think you can find that here? He said, probably not. That tells me that this is no longer about a contract and about money. Because if it was about that specifically, I don't think he would look the way he is and he wouldn't have made that comment. Now, Coach Spo also spoke out. And again, you guys, I'm going to play this clip, but look at his body language as well. Not just hear what he's saying, but look at the body language and how he's speaking to the reporter.
Just to return for a second to Jimmy, it seemed like he was parked in the corner often and maybe not as engaged as we're used to seeing him with sort of the thrust that he plays. Is that because of Tyler and the way things have changed since he's been out? Or would you like to see Jimmy more active? It just seemed odd seeing him in the corner that often.
In the first half, like I said, we were down 10. We were playing catch up. Their pressure was getting us out of where we needed to get the ball going to. In the second half, we had him playing point, just to make sure the ball was in his hands. And then, the game still got away from us. So, that was a frustrating part. Obviously, we need him to be aggressive. We need to get him in spots where he can be aggressive. We know how to do that. This game just got away from us.
I was going to ask you about playing the point. Is that something that you might see more of?
Hey, whatever we got to do, if we got to get him activated with the ball in his hands, play point. He's done it before. We know how to get him going. He knows how to get going. These are not two strangers. Aberrational. Activate on Saturday.
Okay, so although Coach Bo was professional and answered the questions, his body language and his tone just seems like he is way past answering Jimmy Butler questions. He's like, look, he knows what it's like. We know what it's like. He knows what it's like. This is not new. We just got to find a way to get him, more, ingratiated within the offense, getting the ball more. Like, he just seems like, next question, please. I'm tired of talking about this. And for me, the body language from Jimmy, and Coach Spo, it just seems like I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Obviously, I don't have, a Shams, Sharanya, tip, or person that I could just call and say, hey, what's going on, right? So I'm looking at it in real time like you guys are. But to me, at this point, I think that it is time to move on. And there's nothing wrong with that, Jimmy is obviously older and he has been injured more than I'm sure he would like, but he still has a lot to offer. I don't think the Miami Heat are stronger without him. We have seen what they're capable of with Jimmy in the lineup. We've seen it. We've also seen Jimmy there and Bam there without Tyler Hero, and they got to the finals without Tyler Hero. And I know that he's doing great right now, but I'm not going to say that I feel like they're better off without Jimmy because of what I've seen in the past. He's older now, but that doesn't take away from what he's capable of. I'm always going to bet on playoff Jimmy all day, every day. I'm not going to turn my head to him. Now, if you do trade Jimmy, right now, from what I'm hearing, what my sources are saying via Instagram, right, and Google, De'Aaron Fox is looking for a trade from Sacramento. I don't know why, but let's just play trade right here, right? What do you think about Jimmy Butler teaming up with DeMar DeRozan, Sabonis, Keegan Murray, Malik Monk? That could work, you know. But like I say, I think, and De'Aaron Fox, I think teaming up with Tyler Hero, I don't know. I don't know because they both play the same position. Obviously, they're both guards. They're both used to having the ball in their hand and shooting. And right now, everything is kind of more so through Tyler, right? So you bring De'Aaron Fox in. It could work. It might not work. It might take time. Obviously, no, these things take time, right? It will take time for them to learn how to play with each other and build that chemistry. However, on the defensive side of things, you're going to need more defense. You just need more defense. You're going to need Jimmy Butler, or you're going to need someone else to come in who can offer up offense and defense, or someone who's going to be strictly super dominant on the defensive end. Because if you have everybody who can shoot, Bam is one person, but it's going to take more than just De'Aaron Fox. You know, if he was traded there, this is just hypothetical, you guys. If De'Aaron Fox was traded there alongside Tyler Hero, you're going to need more. The the West is stacked. The East, you know, has a lot of talent as well. Look at the way Boston is playing. Look at the way Cleveland is playing. You know, in Boston and Miami, that rivalry, they're always going to play each other close. But you're going to need more, I think, than just shooters to get past them because Boston is locked and loaded on both sides. Everybody there can play both sides of the ball. They really, really can. They just take turns. Who's shooting, who's guarding, who's defending. It's something crazy to watch. You know what I mean? Claps off to Ime for whatever he did and how he got that ball rolling. It started there with him. So that's Ime's doing. And I'm always going to say that. You know, come back to Jimmy. Um, I personally want to see him in a Warriors uniform. I think that they could use someone like him because the Warriors already loaded with guards. They don't need anybody else to shoot the freaking ball. They just do not. You know, send Buddy Hield over there. You know, send Buddy over there. You know, he's good for coming in here and there, knocking down some threes or whatever have you. He's not really offering you much else, but he can offer you that. You send Buddy over there. I don't know. I'm not gonna give up Looney. I love Looney. You know, but yeah, you guys, I'm thinking right now. I gotta think more about the trade, you know, but potentially between the Miami Heat and Warriors. But I do like Jimmy in Warriors uniform. Again, he lives, I believe, in the Bay, so he's not traveling too far, you know, which is cool. And at the end of the day, I think this is just run its course, you guys. I think it's just time to move on and cut ties. When you are not happy someplace, it's kind of hard for you to give your best. And Jimmy's a competitor. I know that he's always going to go out and compete. He's always shown that that's his history. But man, is it hard for you to really perform your best or give your best when you are not happy. And that makes a big deal, you guys. Again, I cannot stress it enough. You know, if you've been in situations where you just have not been happy, you know how hard it is to get up to go to work every day, to get up and stay in that relationship. And you're just like, oh my God, like I want to move forward, but I can't for whatever the reasons are. And basketball obviously is different, but it's still a relationship, you know, between Jimmy Butler and Miami Heat organization. Now, maybe there'll be a way that they can fix that. I'm not sure. But what I do know is at this point, they're not going to fix it with money. That's not going to be it. But what do you guys think though about this situation? Let me know in those comments, and I'll see you in the next video, you guys.